We cover weather and traffic every 10 minutes on KBOI 2 News this morning. I know the inversion's coming, not here yet. You probably don't care because I know you have some TV watching tonight. Certain basketball game.
I do. There's a big game. Gonzaga plays Villanova tonight, and it's
Yeah.
at 5 o'clock. That's the best part, is since it's on the East
Right,
Coast.
not super late.
It's at 5 o'clock, so I'll be able to watch it and still go to bed on time.
Yeah.
So, hey, but today, probably a good day to get out and enjoy the sunshine before that. So make a point to soak up some of that vitamin D. The inversion conditions are, well, gradually making themselves known. But for right now, things have been okay. We saw some sunshine yesterday. Certain areas of the valley and the lower elevations are a little more susceptible. Had someone in Emmett telling me, hey, the inversion, we're already noticing some of it around here. So depends on where you live, but gradually as the week goes on, know that kind of the rule of thumb is that things could get a little bit worse, whether it just be hazy in the afternoons and we still see some sunshine, or if it gets to the point where it's strong enough where we do kind of get locked in by that layer of low clouds and morning fog. So I wanted to start you off with kind of a cool picture this morning. This was sent in by Joel. Thanks for letting us share this on air. Can you spy the moon? You probably won't notice it just immediately looking at this, but if you look closely at that U.S. Bank Christmas tree, there's an additional light streaming through there, and that is the moon. Not the super moon itself, but the very close remnants of it from last night. So pretty cool shot out there from downtown Boise. Thanks for letting us share that. So we got to show you something cool before we start talking about the inversion, right? Sun is up this morning at 8:03 a.m., so we'll talk about sunrise and sunset, and we don't have a lot of daylight to work with here. That's typical as we get into December, but it's part of why the inversion, well, is we're more susceptible to them at this point in the season, is the lack of daylight and daytime heating. So here's what's happening. That ridge of high pressure strengthening and building on in, coming a little bit closer to home. And as it anchors over the west, you can see how high this is amplified. These ridge lines are massive. They stretch all the way into Canada, meaning most of what you see under here is under the influence of high pressure, so we're not really going to see much changing. It's a stable pattern, but it's one that blocks any storms from coming into play too. So fast forwarding really through Sunday, nothing changing. The ridge still anchored out here in the United States West. So no storms. Instead, we get that stable, stagnant pattern. It'll be cold in the valleys, and we could see some low clouds and fog becoming possible because of it. So again, it's all about the low sun angle. We don't get enough daytime heating, so we don't really see much mixing happening. The atmosphere isn't getting stirred up, so instead that cold air sinks and then gets trapped. So that kind of results in the fog and the haze that we see. And of course, as more and more cold air gets trapped and you get all the smog and things from along the valley floor lifting up, it just doesn't get a chance to circulate and get pushed up into the atmosphere. So instead, we're talking about cold air and that cloud deck. Air quality can also become a concern. The definition of inversion, though, is all about the temperatures, believe it or not. So we're going to notice the impacts of this pretty quickly here over the next couple of days, I think. So that's kind of a sign conditions are expected to get worse, is that we are going to be colder here in the valley. Again, Boise's temp starting off in the 30s today, dropping down to the low 30s by Thursday, and then from there we stay cooler than our mountains do. So look at McCall, temperatures there going to be above average, and they'll be well warmer than us as we get into the weekend. So that's just kind of a hint that our conditions are expected to get worse. Those inverted temperatures, colder in the valleys, warmer in the mountains. There it is, nothing going on, very quiet, but again, we're dealing with that ridge of high pressure. So sunshine today for hopefully most of us here in the valley. The lower Treasure Valley and the upper Weiser Basin could start to see some of the impacts of this, I would say, tonight into tomorrow at the earliest, as far as the patchy fog and then the cloud deck kind of hanging around. High of 39 today, so we'll get up into the upper 30s and should see some nice sunshine. Highs again toward 40 degrees out in Caldwell, with 20s and 30s in the mountains. Things start to change from there. We will see some fog, I think, possibly coming into play here Thursday into Friday, and then we stick with low 30s all the way through the weekend, low to mid 30s. But look at the mountains. They get lots of sunshine and temps in the mid 30s to upper 30s as we get into early next week. So kind of a tale of two stories here. This is the one we obviously would like to see. We instead will be dealing with some fog, I think, as the week goes on, and this means no storms for the mountains.
Okay, well, with Tamarack opening Saturday and some sun, maybe more people are going to make the trip up there.
Yeah, it would feel pretty good, I think. So those temps, nice.
Okay, thank you.